Good.
Right.
Penis.
So, yeah, last we left off, things happened. The party had just finished the encounter at Farrah Gledforge's place and encountered a, well, certainly unexpected stranger at the top of the second turret in the form of a Mindara, the murderer of Togar's brother. After getting a bit of information from him, and interestingly allowing him to go on his way unharmed, at least thus far, they returned to the central council chamber of Thogladar to report back to General Snowhand. Upon doing so, they brought to his attention the corruption that was going on in the city guard, eventually getting Bearman Shatterfoot, the current captain of the guard, summoned and, well, exposing him for the corrupt sack of shit that he is, in the words of General Snowhand. After that, there was a bit of a shopping excursion, which I suppose we can just get into the details of. I mean, if anybody would like to just go ahead and explain what their character did, I suppose that would probably make the most sense.
Exchanged my old chainmail for a set of splint armor.
I went to find a belt or essentially a belt of returning. And upon not having enough money, offered to give them 100 gold to hold on to it while I go see what I can do.
And then Bungdo got a shiny ass robe. And a new staff.
Indeed. And
do you remember what the name of the wood was? I think it was dark wood.
Oh, it was it was a thing.
That's spongy wood.
No, it wasn't that one.
No.
It was the thorny one. I'm just gonna update it on my thing. From quarterstaff to whatever.
Black Locust.
Ah, yes. Ooh, and I can change common clothes to silk robe.
Indeed, you can.
Well, I still have the clothes though. They're just on the staff. Did I ever get wire?
You did.
Okay. I will take care of all that later then.
Okay.
So I have the materials. How many feet did I get? 8?
Ooh, I thought it was more than that, but let's see. I feel like it was closer to like 10 to 20, but
Could just
I
say
don't know. Let's call it an even 10.
okay. I think it was steel wire. Okay.
So yeah, as all of that is going on, and As far as the excursion itself goes, were you all kind of trying to travel together, or did you sort of break up for a bit and reconvene?
I stayed with them.
Yeah, I think we all just went with each other
Okay.
to our respective stores, and I don't think we actually did Trogdor's, did we?
Yeah, mine was first because it was that Togar shop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, as you're making your way around town, at the request of Maya, you do stop off at a essentially a liquor store, and she comes out with a number of bottles clanking. Well, actually, you wouldn't hear them clanking because they're probably now in the bag of holding. But she seems to have made a pretty sizable purchase. So, with the only business here in town left to attend to, it would seem you're going back to General Snowhand at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nobody else has anything.
Now, I actually want to talk to whoever, like, a head paladin or whatever. I want to try to get a hold of one of the goat knights. I want to talk about that tablet.
Oh,
I'll let him
okay.
go first.
Okay. So, would you like to then try and talk to one of the ones that you've already dealt with? Maybe Mortharm, the one that General Snowhand trusts so much? Or would you like to just go to a temple and see if maybe you can find someone to talk to there?
Yeah, go to the one that General Snowhand trusts. They
Okay.
seem like good guys.
Alright. So yeah, then either way, you kind of find yourselves traveling back toward the council chamber. And as is kind of just the usual at this point, the guards posted outside recognize you and immediately grant you access to the chamber, where you are greeted by both General Snowhand and Morthon. Both still you walk in on them sort of conferring, and you gather planning what the hell they're going to do to clean up in the wake of all this craziness that's happened in the city over the past day or so. But you are clearly welcomed, and they, well, they'd like to know what they can do to help you out. So, of course, Mortharm kind of, as is his general practice, kind of stands at the base of the platform where General Snowhand is seated. So I suppose then you'd like to get his attention. It's probably kind of a simultaneous thing, really. So Trogdor, as you gain Mortharm's attention, what would you like to do?
I'd like to ask Maya if I can get the tablet out of the bag of holding.
Okay. Not seeing any reason to object, she pulls it out and hands it over to you.
I pull up the tablet and I'll just carry it over to. What's his name?
Mortharm.
Okay. Yeah, carry it over to Mortharm and ask him if he has any idea what this is. Like, see if I can try to get some more information out of it.
All right. Yeah, he kind of leans in and squints his eyes, focusing on the various runes and carvings and things that are on the face of the tablet. You can see him kind of scanning line by line by line, and yeah, after a moment, he kind of looks up at you and just says, "I'm sorry, but I wouldn't even know where to begin with something like this. I mean,
Well, how about you start at the beginning?
well, just about all I can really tell you is it's really old.
Yeah, my deity Bahamut sent us on a little adventure a little while ago. So we ended up retrieving that along with my mace. And from what I understand, this can potentially open up some kind of portal to a city of doors or something like that. Which my understanding, I believe you can travel to other dimensions from there. I'm just wondering if you had any information on any of that.
I'm afraid I haven't really heard of any of that sort of thing.
Alright, I guess just trying to keep us on the down low. I don't want any information to get leaked until I know exactly what this is.
Of course, it's the least I can do.
Excuse me.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'll put it back in the bag of holding.
All right. In the meantime, I believe Togar has some business to attend to.
Yes. I will get General Snowhand's attention.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, as Trogdor and Morthorm are kind of off to the side having their, secret paladin discussions, whatever those may be, you strike up a conversation with the general, and he just gives you a very cordial welcome. Just kind of like open arms. Back again so soon. Well, what can I do? What can I do to help?
Well, I did a little bit of thinking, did a little bit of looking around, and while I've been back, I was planning on, depending on how our shops, how my shop's doing, picking up a few things just to, help aid me in my future travels. One of the things I saw was a belt that allows me to throw my weapon without worry, as it will come back. Unfortunately, the shop's not doing the greatest right now. So I was wondering if I could possibly take out a loan.
For a belt, you say? How much could this belt be?
Well,
The belt, I believe, is around 1,000 gold.
He he hears that and just sort of, oh, that's it, just 1,000.
Yes.
No worries. And he beckons over, looks to be just an attendant of some sort, kind of standing off to the side. He comes kind of walking briskly across the platform. Sort of formal wear, just kind of trailing behind him, sort of fluttering. Really interestingly flamboyant dress for a dwarf. But he, hustles over to the general and sort of leans in as the general says something rather quietly, but certainly assertively to this individual. And just as quickly as he made his approach, he sort of speed walks off to some door that you hadn't even seen before near the back corner of the chamber, kind of around the side of the platform. As he's making his way out and eventually, that ends up out of sight, beyond the door, General Snowhand just says, "For heroes such as yourselves, who have done us such a great service in the return of my daughter and the uncovering of such treachery right here in our city, I think the least I can do is provide a bit of financial assistance in allowing you to continue with the good work that you do. As such, I've instructed my attendant to go and fetch the coin you require, as well as a small extra stipend as well. Clearly, this is not the extent to which I can help, but it will certainly go a fair way in allowing you to focus on accomplishing the goals that we have at hand. We don't even know what could be going on up in, well, wherever this next step of the scheme might be happening, but I have faith that you'll be able to root it out and do what must be done."
Indeed.
At this point, the oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just said indeed. Give a bow.
Yeah, okay. At this point, the attendant kind of comes back around, and he's got this, looks like a kind of almost velvety kind of pouch. It's like this deep purplish color. He's kind of not outright struggling, but it certainly seems a bit unwieldy and a bit heavy as he rounds the corner and just presents it directly to you.
Oh, okay. I'll reach out and take it. How heavy do you think it feels?
Let's see. I mean, weight-wise, it's let's have a look here. Probably. It looks up, which is dumb. I mean, it's probably a good, like, 20-ish pounds of coin.
Okay.
I shot a little in my pants.
What's weird is from your waist down, you're not really wearing anything, so you just sharded all over the floor.
Wait, what?
I'm kidding.
Trogdor is now Donald Duck.
Yes.
Anyway, big hefty bag of coin. It's kind of, thrust toward you.
Oh, I take it and I'll say, Maya, here, let's put this in the bag of holding.
All right. She kind of scoops it up, carefully cradling it as it's kind of surprising that this much can be held in this bag, but apparently it's a very finely made little pouch. And yeah, it's kind of just deposited in the bag of holding.
And I'll look back at the general and say, many thanks, sir, and this isn't the last you will see of us. We will come back, not to ask for assistance, but to, essentially as emissaries, to inform you of the goings-on of out in the world, and, as you know, my parents do live within this cave, so, come back to visit them, but, yes, it is greatly appreciated, and if you do need anything, or any of your men need anything, from our smith, just let us know. We can, if at the very least, easily cut you guys a deal on it.
Well, that's greatly appreciated, and well, hopefully we won't have too much need to prepare for war, but with such foul things going on right under our noses, one can never be entirely sure, I suppose.
Indeed. And then at this point, I noticed Trogdor's kind of done talking to the Goat Knight, and I'll just say, I shall allow you to rest and continue your conversation. I myself need to rest. I still have not rested yet. It's very hard to find rest as an adventurer.
Indeed.
Certainly makes those 12-hour days spent at the shop look like nothing. So.
And he kind of like looks off in the distance, almost seeming to kind of remember the glory days, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But he just says, "Be well, my friend."
And you as well. And I will turn or give a bow and then turn and exit.
Okay. Just so you guys all know.
Yes.
Essentially, and I would say Maya probably at least had the wherewithal to at least take a little peek in that bag. Essentially, what you've just been handed is 1,000 platinum pieces.
What?
And how much is 1 platinum?
That is 10
10
gold.
gold.
Which means...
That's 10 grand. Holy fuck.
You know, belt's only 1,000.
Get his armor, and then if Maya needs something. And then you can put a junk towards the your little mercantile thing.
Yes, Fungdo's Mercantile. Also, as we're walking back, I propose I'll kind of like pull Bungdo off to the side. Just still walking, but I want to say, hey Bungdo, I came up with an idea for Mercantile.
Spit it out. What is it?
Well, hear me out on this. So you know the jug I've got, right?
The jug you stole, yes.
Yes. That can't be the only jug around like that. We should try to get more and set up a brewery, just a small brewery, and sell the beer produced from that.
Well, how do we know that beer is the best?
It doesn't have to be the best. It's fucking free, dude. You buy the barrel and it's paid for. Once you sell enough beer, your barrels are paying for literally. It's free. It's free business.
I suppose that's an idea.
There's no overhead other than like workers. So just a thought, but we should look into that.
Well, I suppose we can.
Okay.
Jug you got. Where do you think we would find it, though?
Find what, barrels?
Jugs like that.
Well, I had a few questions for the magic shop owner anyway. So maybe we can inquire about bulk buying those at some point as well.
Indeed. So we have 10k gold?
Yes.
Okay. God, can't buy the cake.
That General Snowhand's a rich motherfucker.
He's the general of the Dwarven City.
Only 1k. It fucking gives you 10 grand.
So naturally I look at Maya with puppy dog eyes and say, Maya, so can I get the belt?
And while she does still have to kind of pause and think on it for a bit. She eventually just says, "Oh, I think we can spare the coin at this point."
Woo! And like a kid, I will run back to the magic shop. Just excited kid. And I'll say, yeah, I just came in, dropped the belt off with a deposit. My cohort is coming in to pay for it. And then I'll say, am I talking to what it would look like an owner, or is it just a shop hand?
Yeah, he's kind of a weathered old dwarf. Streaks of white through his otherwise kind of dark grayish beard, and he has kind of a cracked pair of spectacles, just barely hanging on at the edge of his nose.
Okay.
And he's actually kind of looking over a few like assorted pieces of what look to be either enchanted jewelry or jewelry that shall be at one point enchanted.
Okay. And I know his name's Gimrick?
Gimrig.
Yes.
Gilmore. What?
Do I know his first name?
Hmm.
Just from dealings?
That is entirely possible. I would say go ahead and make a history check, because it's not like you would have worked super closely with him.
Yep, I know it. I know who the fuck this guy is.
Oh. Well, rip, roll 20.
What?
It's just like, I don't know, for whatever reason my roll 20 is refreshing right now.
Oh,
But,
well, I rolled a nat 20, so I definitely
well, I don't know.
And you say you wrote these stats at home, alone, by yourself.
Okay. So, you would then know that his first name is Beldrin. And yes, I will put that in chat.
Okay.
No, you won't.
And then with that check, would I know if he would rather be called Gimrig or Beldrin? Sorry.
I mean, you kind of, from your limited dealings with him, it doesn't really seem like he's partial to one or the other.
Okay. Dwarven etiquette, which is better?
Probably pretty standard in the sense that if you're going to go by clan name, you should probably, throw a Mr. or something to that effect in front of it.
Okay. Mr. Beldrin, Mr. Beldrin. Fuck, I'm dumb. Mr. Gimrig. I had a question. How do you go about enchanting pieces such as this? I've always been curious, and I've just started, looking into magic, and I'll kind of produce Mage Hand and just kind of float it around in front of me, and then disperse it.
This whole time he's been kind of like polishing up a little, it's like a little pendant. Hasn't even like made eye contact with you yet, but yeah, as you kind of come to the end, he's like, "Yes, well, it's a lovely life story you've got there, but what, you just want to learn how to enchant?"
No. I've got ideas for certain items, that would do certain things. They're not necessarily what you would think. I just don't know how to put the enchantment on them that would be needed. Sorry, I sneezed.
So you want to learn to enchant?
No enchanting.
In a way. or at least learn the basics of how to enchant.
I know I'm old, but are my ears failing me, or did you want to learn to enchant? Yes.
Sure.
All right. Kids these days. Well, where was I?
Yes,
What?
explaining enchanting.
Oh yes, yes. Well, I suppose I could set aside some time, but well, I mean, clearly I have a business to run. What could you offer in return?
Well, I could offer fabulous pieces from my shop. You remember me, don't you? I own the shop, the armor shop down the road.
At this point, he kind of like grabs one side of the frame of his glasses and squints. I mean, there's a look of genuine effort, almost exertion on his face as he like kind of leans in and is like,
Togar?
Togar, yes.
Yes.
Something. Uh, sure. That. Yeah. Right. Um. So, y- do you still live here?
At the current moment, no.
Thought I'd heard something. Um.
Yeah, that was fixed. That we actually just are coming from General Snowhand.
Ah. So clearly you've done something right.
Yes.
Well, if you're well, oh, all right. So let me get this straight. You you are or you're not running the shop?
I am currently not running the shop. My father is.
Is he any good at making armor and such things?
He is. Not quite as good as me, but he does still put out pretty good quality pieces. I do plan on giving him a little bit more help in trying to help improve the quality of his work a little bit.
So he makes shit right now.
No. And I grab Trogdor and I say, "See, this armor is my father made this armor that he's wearing."
He kind of like leans over the counter a little bit and ting 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 knocks on the armor.
I flex.
And again, adjust the spectacles a little bit and kind of just sizes the whole set up and well, throw a good enough enchantment on this, I suppose it could be something. All right, so well, let's get started sometime, and as I provide training, you can send a payment in the form of bits of armor. Yes?
Of course.
Right. And make sure they're not shit.
Of course.
Like, really, I have a business too.
I know. I understand. Trust me. And when I come back, after my travels, I will have amassed tons of knowledge and be able to easily hook you up with some of the best armor in the land.
You just there's like an old man lip smack, just like, well, Toga, was it?
Yes.
Toga, right. And he just kind of like seems to zone out for a moment.
Just patiently wait. Stand there and watch him.
He's like, so when would you want to start?
How long would this take?
Quite a while. I mean, I could show you basics, I suppose, but well, could at least get you started if you can give me a couple of days.
I look at the group. Do we want to spend a couple days here?
Well, I would indeed.
Okay. Trogdor?
Uh,
I can see if maybe I can get my dad to work on your armor a little bit. Iron out the seams.
what about the potential Wodak?
I look at Maya since she's been like the deciding factor on a lot of this.
Well, Maya is certainly a bit concerned at the potential Bodak situation, or whatever else might be going on out in the world. But well, she's probably not entirely sure that this is the best time, I guess I would say.
Okay. Look at him. Tell you what, we'll make this arrangement for the next time we return. We currently have a situation.
All right. Well, talk to you sometime then.
Yes. Oh, Maya, since you're here, can you pay the man? Or can I get the money?
Yeah, she just, kind of like, she pulls the bag out of the bag and, yeah, counts out, let's see, that would be, you put down 100 deposit, so then counts out 90, platinum.
Yep.
Just kind of slides it across the, counter. And, right. Yeah, you had an order. What was your name again?
Togar. You know, the guy who owns the armor shop.
Can I give this guy a medicine check to see if he's stroking out?
I guess you could make a check to just look for general signs.
Is he stroking out?
No, he's just really fucking old.
So we are not spending a few days in, or wherever the fuck.
In Thogwadar, probably not,
Yes.
by the looks of things. But yeah, and Beldrin Gimrig just sort of like shuffles back to the shelf behind the counter and kind of thumbs through a few like kind of reserve tickets that you can now see are filled out in like massive, thick black lettering. And even then, he's still like kind of leaning in, squinting at him, trying to make out the proper one. Takes him a moment, and yeah, eventually he does reach the belt, and kind of gingerly picks it up and walks it back across the way, and just gently sets it down on the counter in front of you.
I'll grab it and I guess I'll put it on.
All right. And so you strap the belt on yourself, and I mean, you can certainly tell that there's something different about the belt, but given that you haven't had time to fully attune to it, you can just kind of sense the raw magical energy about the thing.
Yep. And I will look at the rest and say, is there anything else you guys want to do?
Well, I would like to meet the captain of shipping, but that's about it. Perhaps the Merchants Guild.
What, didn't you want to get that robe? Or,
Well, it's 6,000 though. I mean, don't we want to save some of the money for the thing?
What thing?
The mercantile. Like, I'd be using 60% of the gold we got. Like, I understand Taylor's because it was only 1,000 and like he asked for it, but mine's like 6. That's a lot.
Okay.
should
Like,
at
if
least
you guys
put,
don't,
like, 1 or 2 towards it.
well, yeah,
like,
but I mean,
stash it away.
even with that, I would still have to raise 3,300 more.
Yeah.
I reach in my bag and pull out the jug, and I say, by the way, do you have any more things like this?
He, kind of reaches out his hands to, grab it and kind of like size it up. And yeah, you can see him kind of focusing, not so much the visual strain that you've seen him going through before, but maybe he's performing some kind of check or something along those lines to kind of make sense of what he's holding, because to the untrained eye, it just kind of looks like a jug. And yeah, after kind of tilting it upside down and writing it, kind of sliding it back and forth, at which point it does make that sloshing sound, even though there's nothing in it. Like, I've seen a few of these, but I don't typically have a whole lot of them come through.
How much would you charge for one of these?
And he, you can see him kind of doing some air math. Let's see. Well, probably somewhere like 400 or 500 gold.
I look at Bungdo. We should put a deposit down to buy 5 or 6 of them now,
I suppose I'm okay with that.
and then the rest can be used for us, party wise. And I look at Trogdor and Maya. Sound like a deal?
You said 5 or 6 of them? I thought you were gonna...
Well, I'll throw mine in there. So I would say we could get by with 4.
Weren't you gonna try and figure out how to make them or something like that?
I don't. Yes. Shut up, Trogdor. We'll talk outside. Bungdo, you want to do that?
Yeah, we might as well, if you
That'll be
do
for
the
the
honors.
mercantile.
I'm alright with at least 2 or 3. Like, buying 2 or 3 more.
Alright, would our lovely god like to get in touch with our monk and ask? Just shoot her a text and see.
Yeah, let's see here.
I mean, that's a handsome amount of gold.
Yeah, it kind of is.
So, but I figure if we put an order for 4 more, that would give us 5 total, and it'd give us.
I say 1 jug per yes.
Well, it'd give us 20 gallons of beer a day.
That's a lot of beer!
Yes. So we could bottle it up, barrel it up, whatever. I mean, we don't even have to be there. We could have somebody else do it. And just barrel it up and sell it. And it would be small time money right now, but... I mean, that's pretty cheap. and then we could use that money to kick the mercantile off. Sound good, Bungdo?
Indeed, might as well. Still have to talk to the captain of shipping, though.
Yeah, of course. Get your liquor license, and we'll have to find somebody to... I wonder, my mom might be able to do that. She might be able to bottle and sell beer. So, that'll be something to talk to her about.
We'll have her do that, and like anytime we come back out here, you just give us a portion of it.
Yeah, we just stop in and we can pick up some money if we need it. I mean, it doesn't cost her, it's not going to cost her anything. Next end, you know.
Like whatever it costs for the jars.
Yeah, that's it. Or she could even barrel it and just do it in 50-gallon barrels. But it would literally
Text
take...
is out.
Huh?
Text is out.
Ah.
We'll see if she responds.
We're just kind of sitting here debating about what to do and who to get to do it and stuff. So I think the general consensus is we're going to try to see if my mom would do it. Would be willing to at least bottle them up.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like it's like 5 minutes out of your day to do it.
Are we still gonna carry at least the one on us?
Yeah.
Because we are going to be heading towards another desert.
Yeah, we are going to keep our one on us.
Actually, I feel like we should have like 2 on us.
I mean, do we want to... We can get another one. I say we should have at least 4.
Yeah, like have like 2 on us, and then 2 or 3 with your mom.
I was thinking 4 with her.
Oh. I guess depends on what Becca says.
Because these things are freaking useful. And it's not like we could have them right now. He doesn't have any.
Yeah.
But we could at least place the order for, however many, and as he gets them in, just have him deliver them to my mom. Or at least have word get to her and she can
Wait,
get
don't you have to attune to these?
No, they're not attunable.
Oh, okay.
So you just grab, and I'll grab it from him and say, poison. And I'll pull out my little poison vial and dump it in.
You know what wasted? Kappa.
Maya trusts your business sense.
Oh boy.
10,000 gold laid there.
No, so, I mean, Bungdo, what do you think?
I'm okay with it.
Alright, so let's order 5. So we'll have a total of 6. And we'll just end up getting an extra one to keep with us. So we'll have 4 with her and 2 with us.
Alright.
And
We'll
we
just stop
still
back
have-
at her house and tell her.
Yes, that's our next stop because we need to rest.
Yeah. We're just out shopping all bloodied.
He can't see. He's fucking blind. And I just suddenly think that if Octa were with us, she probably would have stole something by now.
The whole entire back of 10,000 gold.
No, I mean, she probably would have stole something from Gimrig.
Oh.
Because the dude's blind as a fucking bat and old. So, but I just think of, that probably is a good idea that Octa went their own way. Or went her own way, rather.
Still curious to what happened.
This was all just inner monologue.
Oh.
But I do say, I like a tractor. It's probably a good idea Octa's not here.
Speaking of which, whatever happened to her? She just kind of disappeared in Strasza.
I have no idea. As quickly as she was there, then she was gone.
Does Bungo
Yeah.
remember?
Does Bungo remember?
I was only like a week or two ago in game.
What? It's been a good 3, hasn't it? With all the traveling.
No, it's been about a week.
Strasza,
Probably in the 1 to 2 week range.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, specifically, what's Bungo trying to remember?
What happened to Octa?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't actually know.
Yeah, I would.
Why'd you do it?
So
to
good
her?
at history, you just figured things out. No. Yeah. But no, you do not know what happened to Octa. Though there may be some who do.
I secretly smited the demon out of her.
There was nothing left.
But yeah, so you're putting down a deposit then?
Yes. So, I say, oh, Gimrig, I would also like to place an order. Those jugs, that jug that we just talked about?
Jug?
Yeah, this one. And I pull it out and hold it up and kind of like hold it so that he can see the opening, and I shake it so he can hear that it sounds like there's...
Oh, looks like an alchemy jug.
Yes, yeah! Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We would like to place an order for 5 of those.
Well, I mean, I don't really get very many of them through the store, but I suppose I could keep an eye out.
Yeah, if you could just spread the word that we're looking for them. See what you
Right.
can do.
And a deposit. How many?
It would be a total of 5.
More air math as he's just kind of tracing out numbers in front of him with his finger.
Yep.
If you give me 500 gold, I could probably make it happen.
Okay. 500 gold.
For all of them?
For a deposit.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So it's what? 5 platinum pieces?
She whips out
Probably a little more than that.
platinum.
What was that, bro?
We just whip out a giant sack of platinum right in front of the guy.
Uh-huh.
He just stares at it in awe.
He doesn't really seem that phased.
He's an old
What's that,
dwarf. He's
100?
seen money. Better, he probably can't see it. He just thinks it's a sack of something.
Alright, so, yeah, I mean, I guess Maya being in charge of the treasury pulls out the cash and counts out the 50 platinum that would be, and adds that to the 90 that are already kind of sitting there on the counter.
Alright.
And,
Oh, and my mother will be coming to pick these up.
right.
Or at least pick the first one up.
Her name?
Scrolling up through my shit.
Don't you remember your mother's name?
No. Damn it.
Don't make me scam you.
Cathla. It was Cathla.
Right, and he kind of scribbles it down. Well, I say scribbles, more like writes in huge ass font across a tag that's barely big enough to hold the few characters of that name.
Okay.
And then on the back, you just, see he draws in 5 alchemy jugs, like as as large as he can, while still fitting them all onto this tag. But yeah, and he kind of walks back and hangs the filled out thing on a hook back behind the counter, amongst a number of other ones. And you can see kind of this tangle of look like little claim checks or whatever, like you'd see at a dry cleaner, just kind of interwoven by the strands that they're hanging from.
Okay.
Yeah. And it comes back to the counter and says, anything else I can do for you?
That should be it.
Right. And I don't think I caught your name. What was your name again?
Togar.
Togar. Right. All right. Well, off with you.
Yep. And I will leave.
All right.
Did Maya want anything?
I think Maya already has what she needs.
Alright.
Once we get outside, I'll say, well, shall we go back to my parents' house?
Yeah. Use a nap.
Alright, I guess that's what we'll do. We'll go back there and take a long rest.
I coma for 100 years.
All right. So yeah, the party makes their way back to the Hammer Striker home, just kind of barging in, all beaten and bloody and just looking like utter shit, and kind of collapse on any piece of furniture that they can find. So anything you'd like to do before bedtime?
Clean my drawers from the chart earlier. From all that money.
Is there a rug that is soft?
Sure.
Okay, Bungdo gets next to it, standing facing it, and then just closes his eyes and falls forward, sleeping.
Okay.
And he's sleeping.
All right.
My mom is home, right?
Yeah, and as you're making your way back, I would imagine you'd be going to your bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see her in the kitchen, kind of along the way there.
Alright, I will just stop in and say, I'm back. I've got a lot to tell you, but let me rest first. And I've got a little bit of an idea on how we can get a little bit more money coming in as well.
She's just kind of standing there, like, looking at you as fucking torn up as you are. And as she finally manages to kind of catch herself, realizing she's just kind of gawking, she's like, yeah, go get some sleep.
Will do, and I will go lay down.
Okay.
Can I attune to it over a long rest instead of a short?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna meditate and pray and whatnot for about 10-15 minutes before sleeping.
Okay. All right. And if that covers everything, then I would say you guys can go ahead and take your long rest.
Whew.
Holy crap! I'm not at death's door.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, I got 35 points of lay on hands down to 30.
Is there an item card for that, Eric? Because it's not in Find.
Yeah, it's not an official thing, but I did find the basically the equivalent of it. Let me pull that up real quick.
Okay. Bundo, did you by any chance say you had a couple scimitars still?
I think I had like one.
Would you mind if I took it for something?
Let me look and see if I still have it.
Okay.
And Taylor, you should have an item card now.
Sweet.
I think I sold it.
Oh, okay. All good.
I still have 2 vials of holy water.
Okay. That's sick. So I pull out the ornate dagger and put it in, and then I load the rest of them up with kunai.
Okay.
And I say, well, I have one more little bit of tinkering I need to do that I might be able to do before we leave.
Finish my shield.
That I can do as we go.
It looks like crap. It doesn't even have the Bahamut symbol anymore.
That's gonna take a while.
I can assist you.
Eric, how long would that take?
Just to put the symbol back on?
Yeah.
Whatever finishing touches he was planning.
Well, essentially what I did is I put a piece of metal like over the top of it, and I was slowly flattening it down and essentially affixing it over the symbol so that it would be the same symbol. And then I was going to either A, cut it out around it so that his original symbol showed, or if that symbol was shitty, I was just going to kind of make it paint it up and look nice.
Okay. I mean, I guess it depends on which way you want to go then. If you would like, you could certainly just cut out a portion of the exterior sheet metal, in which case it would probably be reasonably quick. I mean, it still wouldn't be perfectly, neat and tidy and perfect by the time you leave, but you could probably at least expose the symbol, I would say, with a day's work.
Okay. So, I guess we will spend one more day here.
Was it gonna actually improve the shield, or is it just gonna look fancy?
Well, that was... I think the end game is to improve the shield.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, if we're just talking about exposing the symbol for the sake of, not having it just look like a disaster as it's kind of a work in progress, that could be done in a day.
But it wouldn't hurt the structural integrity of what I'm trying to do, would it?
No, because the reason I would say it takes a whole day just to get some metal off of a shield is you're cutting, but then you're affixing behind the cuts as you go. So you're
Okay.
effectively you're affixing the front plate as you're cutting the portion out of it. So you are actually making progress in the progress toward the finished product, I guess I would say.
Okay. And then while that's going on, can I just somehow either send somebody to go get a scimitar for me or something and finish my little scimitar weapon that I made? Like, would I be able to do that? Because all that is just heating up the hilts and smelting them together.
Was it a scimitar or was it a dagger? I thought we were talking about doing
It was the scimitar that I had cut the blade down to about, I think it
Oh,
6 inches.
okay,
And
yeah.
I had
remember.
I think I had 2 or 3 of them ready, just sitting in my bag waiting. I just need one more.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'd say you could kind of squeak that out.
okay, so I affix that and create essentially what I would like to call a Togarian hand axe.
All right.
So it's essentially got a lattice work of like metal in the center of 4 blades that you can essentially just really just kind of grab and throw like a like anything else, but the blades are tuned in a way that it causes it whatever direction you like, whatever angle you threw it at, it's just gonna go in that angle. So it's not gonna like go like a frisbee where it's flopping all in high wind where it flops all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's basically all it is.
Okay. So if you're sending somebody out to go buy a scimitar, you probably need to send them with about probably 38 gold.
I'll pay for that out of my pocket.
Okay.
So that is fine.
Speaking of which, could we each just have like 10 platinum or something and get we separated or whatever?
I'd be okay with that, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So I was actually just about to update the treasury anyway. So let's see. We've got
Spent
15 or wait. So 900 plus 500. That would have been 1,400 gold that was spent at Gimrigs.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us down to 8,600. Anything else that people want to take out of that before I just add it to the party fund?
I'd like 7,000.
just a modest sum of 7,000.
I mean, I did heal everyone.
I say we should all take about 20 or 30 platinum, just in case we do, like Trogdor said, we get separated.
Okay.
Do we want to just, well, should we just like go change the platinum for gold?
No, platinum's nicer.
Okay.
Plus
Saves
you can,
weight.
yeah, it's a lot less weight.
Okay.
Plus it spends the same. It's not like it's Canadian currency versus U.S. currency.
Okay.
So.
Meow. Meow.
All right. So, I guess that's 20 between 4 of us. So 80 more.
And don't we have to leave your mom some money to buy the jugs as they come in?
Yes. Well, I haven't talked to her about that yet, but yes. That's going to be, I think we gave 500 deposit, so that's going to be another 2,000. Or how much did you say it was?
All right. So you gave a 20% deposit.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that means
2,000.
yeah, it's going to be another 2,000.
Okay. So yeah, we'll leave 200 platinum with her. Um,
So we're each taking 20 for our own personal funds.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then the rest is just kind of for what we need. Any other supplies?
All right. So then that's minus. I'm just going to do the math in gold here because that's what we've got in the treasury. Okay. So 200 for Togar, 200 for Trogdor, 200 for Bungdo, and Maya's holding onto the group stash, so if she wants it, she can take it out. But and then you're leaving another 2,000 to purchase the jugs, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'll take the 2,000 and walk in, and go to find my mom.
Oh, I'd be okay with you wanting to invest some money into your shop too. Like,
That's
help
what we're
your
doing.
no, not just the jugs, but like an actual like money towards your dad's armor smithing and weapon making and whatnot.
It's fine. I mean that'll work fine. This money that I'm having my mom make will help offset some of the cost.
All right.
So it'll be just extra money. So, but I'll grab the bag and go find my mom.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. So you take the jug, go find your mom, or sorry, take the cash, go find your mom, and
And where is she?
so as you wake up from your rest, you find her just kind of hanging out around the fire out front. So like the front room, you have kind of a fire pit that feeds up to a chimney in the living room. So she is just kind of seated in front of the fire, enjoying a cup of tea or something to that effect.
All right, I'll go in and sit down and say, "Hello, Mom. How are you?"
Probably better than you. Are you feeling all right?
I kind of wipe my face and go, "Oh, oops," and I just kind of wipe the shit off of my face, all the dirt and dust and blood and stuff. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm feeling a lot better. I may need to take a shower or clean up, a bath, something. Maybe not a bath, just clean up a little bit. But we found an answer for what was going on and solved it. I guess you can say that the general and I see eye to eye on things.
Well, that's good, right?
Indeed. We also aided him in stopping what could have been pretty bad. Unfortunately, we're going to have to head out pretty soon. We have to head out to Drake's Landing because, unfortunately, my mission has not been complete yet. I found a few answers that we were looking for, but it only led to more questions. So, I also have this cool belt, and I show her the belt.
And yeah, she kind of looks at it and says, "That's nice."
I take out the ornate dagger and kind of toss it across the room, and say, "Watch this." And I will activate the belt and will it back to my hand.
All right, so yeah, her eyes kind of just followed as it went across the room and then just disappeared, and she kind of there's a look of surprise, and she just looks back at you, and there you are, holding it again. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That must have been expensive for you."
Not too bad.
Okay.
So, by the way, we were going to give you this, and I'll pull out the 2,000 or the 200 platinum, and I'll set it down on the. I guess there's a table somewhere by her, right?
Yeah.
I'll set it down on the table and say this. We actually have a special order at Gimrig's. You know the place, right?
Yeah, that weird old guy.
Yeah, he's harmless, but yeah, we placed an order for 5 jugs, like this, and I'll pull the jug off my back and show her,
Okay.
and I'll say, and I was actually going to ask you if you wouldn't mind helping out with this. It might, it'd take probably 5 minutes of your time a day, but it would give you and Dad a little bit more income to help supplement that coming from the smithy. And I do plan on giving Dad a few pointers before we leave as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Just kind of, I guess intimidated would probably be a good word. Like, it's not really something she's dealt with before, but
Yeah, and I say it's really easy, Mom. It's you don't have to, it's not, you don't have to cast a spell or anything like that. All you have to do is every day, each one of these will be able to produce about 4 gallons of beer. We were thinking of creating the beer, barreling or bottling it up, and selling it.
oh, okay. Yeah, that seems reasonable enough. Is it any good? I mean, maybe Dad wants to buy some.
That could be. I mean, he could definitely have some. We'll work it out on that, but realistically, I think we want to start small. We placed an order for 5 of them, and Gimrig will let you know when they come in. But essentially, I would like to eventually get up to, around 10. And like I said, it's very quick, easy process. You summon just hold the jug upside down over a barrel and say beer, beer, beer until it stops pouring, and then grab the next one. So, but the beer is pretty good. We've had it. It's not the best, not the worst, but I figure this town of all places would be a great place to sell beer.
Yeah, she just kind of gives a knowing nod at that.
I mean, we could call it whatever you want to call it. Call it your microbrewery. I've got this armor shop. We've got. Then we can have a brewery too. We could brew beer.
That could certainly be interesting.
Yeah, and I figured it. Like I said, it's real easy. I figured it might be kind of fun. Something maybe you and Dad could do together.
All right. Well, I'll talk to him about it. But yeah, I think this is something we could do.
Okay. By the way, when is he sleeping?
She kind of looks upstairs and is like, "Well, he's trying. I don't know. I think he's been worried about you. But well, yeah, I'll go talk to him and make sure he knows that everything's taken care of, and I think we'll be able to move forward, and things will be pretty good here."
Well, once he does get up, send him by the shop. I am going to be spending most of the day there. I have to finish Trogdor's shield, at least to a point where we can travel again.
All right, I can do that.
Okay. So I will, and we'll be back tonight. But we'll probably leave first thing in the morning.
Okay, well then I'll see you tonight.
Okay. And I will go and grab Trogdor and say, let's go and head to the smithy. Or the armor smith shop.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I believe other people were doing other things as that was going down.
Indeed.
So Trogdor went outside and summoned the steed, apparently.
Yep, no real reasons. Just
Okay. Okay, so you're just hanging out outside with your dragon.
yeah.
All right.
So I guess I'll walk outside and see, and then I'll say, "Oh, Trogdor. Oh, you brought that? Yeah, that's fine." I'll walk over and give it a few pats, like a scratch behind where I think its ear would be.
Should have had him help us fight the beholder.
That's a fair point.
Okay. But yeah, so then you two just make your way to the armory or the smith then?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
How heavy are you, Togar?
Like about 150 pounds.
Would I be able to squeeze him on there with me?
I think he did before.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a slower ride, but it's doable.
I'm considered a medium. I thought you could have two mediums.
Yeah.
And you're a heavy medium, I'm a light medium.
Mm-hmm.
So
But yeah, so then you make your way down to the shop. In the meantime, other people have been doing things.
Sneaky
So,
potatoes.
Yeah.
it's all you, Phil.
All right. So I am looking for the captain of trade, or whoever would be in charge of like shipping and trading of all the city.
Okay. So yeah, you'd probably want somebody in the trade ministry, which is, interestingly enough, the same group of which Farrick Leadforge was a member.
Farrick Leadforge was the bad guy.
Uh-huh.
He's the guy that turned into a Bodak.
Good.
So you're just kind of bumbling your way through town and trying to find some sort of trade ministry office or something.
Pretty much.
All right. Go ahead and make an investigation check. All right.
If Bungdo had asked me, I would have pointed him in the direction.
If you would have faced
Oh.
your mic, we would have heard you.
No, I unmuted it. It just my mic decided to be stupid. I said if Bungdo would have asked, I would have pointed him in the direction of the trade. Like, you know, who to talk to, essentially. So I don't know if he did ask or not.
I don't think
I did
he
not.
did.
Okay.
So, yeah, you are able to eventually find one of what you gather to be like maybe a handful of offices throughout the city. Yeah, so as you make your way there and kind of let yourself in, you're faced with, well, pretty standard bureaucratic setup. There's a few seats just inside the door and a large desk seats 2, maybe 3 effectively secretaries or something to that effect. So as you kind of wait and eventually make it up to the desk. What would you like to do?
Well, I go up to them and I ask, "Hello, Bungo Fairtinker. How do you do?"
All right. The dwarf at the counter says, "I'm all right, and well, nice to meet you. What business do you have here this day?"
Well, it depends on who's asking. Have you heard of Ferric Forge?
Yeah, the name rings a bell.
Are you aware of the situation surrounding his demise?
Just kind of gives you a shocked look, like, what the fuck?
Well, boy, answer the question. Don't have all day.
No?
Well, then we have reason to believe that he was involved in illegal activities. Who might I talk to about that? No, smuggling of the sort. I'm investigating things. Are there any, shady characters in the city that have been known to deal with these things?
Oh, so you're not looking to speak to one of our department then?
Well, I'm looking for information involving anyone that might be involved in smuggling. I have to go talk to them to get to the bottom of what happened. The pursuit of justice, you see.
I'm kind of just an office worker.
Well, could you
kinda-
point me to someone who might know?
Yeah, he's like stumbling over the words. And
Bungo starts tapping his foot quite loudly.
What 1 minute? And he, kind of
Very good. Thank you.
thumps down off of the stool, and you just see him kind of run to the back room, probably grabbing a manager or whatever. After a minute or two, he comes back with this kind of stern-looking, stubble-faced female dwarf.
Bungo has half a stink eye on now. Just because you said stern, he has to assert his authority, so to speak.
All right. Yeah, she accompanies the reasonably young dwarf back up to the front, and I hear you had an interesting request.
Yes, gosh, quite beautiful you are. I apologize, I was taken aback. Well, I was sort of hoping to find out about any shady characters that might be involved with smuggling or perhaps suspected of it. I have to investigate them based on the demise of one of your colleagues, I suppose. He died a few days ago, but we have reason to believe he was involved in illegal activities, and, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it for the continent-wide smuggling organization. Nah, sorry, not smuggling organization, the anti-smuggling organization.
All right. She thinks for a moment and says, "Well, I'm afraid I don't really deal in that sort of thing per se, but
Well, bloody hell, who does?"
I was just going to say I could, I suppose, write you some sort of recommendation to speak with the trade minister himself, being that Mr. Ledforge was one of his direct reports. Well, it might be a good idea to talk to the real authority on something like this, yeah?
That would be phenomenally wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. And she just kind of like snatches a piece of parchment from the younger dwarf's workstation and just kind of scribbles out something.
Yoink.
Barely even legible. And she just, scribbles the signature underneath.
Can I read it though? Like, am I able to read it?
Let's see. Go ahead and what would I call it? Make a. I guess it's kind of a perception check in that you're trying to use your senses to determine what the hell this says. It's like reading a prescription.
Just chicken scratch.
I hand it back and ask her play. Well, could you please write that a bit more legible? I apologize. My old gnomish eyes have trouble seeing it.
She gives you a stink eye to rival your own.
My eye kind of narrows with the stink eye.
She
Wild ass music.
briskly reaches over and grabs another piece of parchment from like right in front of the younger dwarf. He was about to like start writing out some form or something, and just as pen was about to touch paper, just swept out from under him. And again, she just goes to work, kind of scribbling across the page. Still pretty fast, pretty rushed. Maybe a little more legible, but not by much. And he kind of like shoves it across the counter to you, like, this will have to do. Have a good day, and just rushes off back to the office.
I sigh and then go to wherever that person is.
Okay. So, for the sake of brevity here, you ask around and are pointed to the office of one Varak Flask Miner. And as you, make your way in and talk to his secretary and then the manager of the secretaries of the blah 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 blah, and again just bureaucracy for about say another half hour, 45 minutes, you are eventually granted an audience with the trade minister himself on recommendation of one of the sort of higher ups in his organization. You're let into this really genuinely beautiful office. It's, as many things are, just kind of carved into the cavern in which Thogladar rests. Sort of like a basement of sorts. A number of gem encrusted baubles just kind of sitting around on stone shelves. Fine tapestries adorning the walls, and a wonderful plush carpet stretched out across the majority of the office floor.
That roll is purely for curiosity, by the way.
Okay. There is a large, borderline overcompensatory desk in the middle of this office. At which, on a rather tall stool, sits a reasonably seasoned old dwarf. Again, just sort of seemingly filling out some sort of form or ledger as you make your entrance. And as the seeming gatekeeper of the trade minister announces your presence, he kind of finishes whatever he was writing down.
I crop dust him as I walk by.
Okay. He finishes what he was writing, and with a quick little kind of shakes off his quill, and with a flourish sort of sets it down in his inkwell at the side of his desk. Says, well, come in. I hear you have quite the interesting story to tell, yes?
I'm not going to do the voice for this one just because I did karaoke last night and it's very hard to do that.
Okay.
So, yes, well, I was... well, we ran into one of your employees the other day, and it seems he was involved in some very dark, dangerous, and most likely highly illegal things. And I'm simply investigating the matter more, and I was hoping to find out what type of people in the city might be involved with that. Perhaps someone you're watching or someone you know of that is suspected of this that I could talk to.
at this point, he kind of like holds up a finger, like just hold on 1 second, and looks over your shoulder at the whatever the hell position that person would be, who's just kind of still holding the door open, kind of fanning the air away for some mysterious reason. And
Check to see the potency of it.
call that a perception check. Yeah, I mean, you smelled some stuff, so it's not that bad. But anyway,
I believe it an hour, by the way, so just heads up.
Yep.
Probably less.
All right, that's fine. So in much the same gesture that the dwarf at the door is using, the trade minister gestures him away. Says, "Close the door behind you." And you just hear this as the door closes and the two of you are left in relative peace and quiet. So, I assume you're referring to the unfortunate incident with one Mr. Ledforge, yes?
Extremely familiar. I was on hand at the time the incident took place. Partially responsible for this being solved. I was hoping to dig further into the issue.
I see. Well, unfortunately, it would seem he is quite the, well, was quite the con artist. I had no reason to suspect him until the events of the last couple days began to run their course. But I've been pouring through records since I heard of this disturbance. And, well, it really is confusing. He seems to have, requisitioned a number of strange items from the mines, mostly different quantities of thogonite and things of that sort, which well, shy of his signature, those things never would have made it out of the city. So,
It sounds like an explosive discovery.
indeed. I have yet to figure out exactly who was bringing them out of Thogwadar. But if you can provide me with some means of reaching you, some sort of contact information, I would be happy to provide that in exchange, of course, for, well, your promise that you might take care of things that need to be taken care of.
Well, taking care of things is portionally my business. Are you familiar with the Hammer Strikers?
Vaguely. I believe one of them owns a business in the city. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. I am traveling with him. He's in my close friendship. And if you need to contact me, you can go through them. If we're not in the city, I'm sure that his family will have means of contacting him. I'll leave a message with them, and the next time I'm in the city, I can contact you immediately.
Very good. Well, I hope to pass on that information soon, as I have a feeling whatever it is you're looking to accomplish here might also benefit me. So let's just try to keep this place cleaned up, shall we?
As he says that, I slightly cut him off at the end. And speaking of benefits and businessness, do you ever happen to need anything brought in or out off the record? I travel a lot, you know, and I'm quite skilled at procuring items of questionable origin. But if something were needed by the royals of the Thogladar area, I'm sure I could assist. Nothing highly illegal, of course, unless, that they needed it, but in a legal manner. Under the hood, so to speak.
He gives you this look like, oh, I understand now. I know why you're here. And he kind of just furrows his brow and gives you this stern look and says, I did not ascend to the position that I hold today doing such shady business.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it shady. It'd be for the right people and the right reasons. Nothing for evil purposes, but sometimes things have to be done. And everyone has secrets, especially governments. And I'm merely attempting to assist. As for my earlier requisitions and of information, that was a purely helpful question. I do want to get to the bottom of it, and we are investigating it. We will take care of it. The second part was merely a proposition, if the time ever came that you needed such assistance from someone you could trust, that did not have evil motives, so to speak.
Having had a brief conversation with General Snowhand earlier today, I'll do you the service of not calling the guard as I escort you out. Beyond that, I'm afraid I'll have to decline.
Very well. You don't need to decide now, but think about it. You know how to contact me. And then I roll my eyes and walk out. But I do like an exquisite bow beforehand.
Okay. So, yeah, you make your way out of labyrinthine disaster of hallway after waiting room after hallway after waiting room, and eventually back out to the streets of Thogladar and, well, wherever you'd like to go from there.
If we have time, a short thing, I would go to the shady part of town.
Okay. For the time being, let's jump back to the other two. Togar and Trogdor, what are you doing, having just left the Hammerstriker house?
Do we go to the shop and we're gonna start smithing?
Yeah.
Okay. So you head over and begin doing your work, and, well, I would say, for the sake of actually doing something with you guys rather than just hopping right back over to Bungdo, yeah, you're able to pretty much accomplish everything you need done. Brief break toward the middle of the work session to wait for your ordered scimitar to show up, but yeah, you're able to at least somewhat refine the shield a bit, at least to a point where it's a bit more presentable and fitting of a paladin of Bahamut. And yeah, the Togarian hand axe is taken pretty good shape. Still kind of it's the hand axe 1.0. There are probably still a few little things more on a cosmetic level that you'd like to iron out, maybe with a little bit more refinement, but it's certainly functional.
Okay.
How much time do you say you can get in for the day?
Well, typical workday is about 8 hours. Anything past that, I need you guys to make some checks for possible exhaustion.
What do you want to do, Taylor?
I mean, I'm good having just gotten it fixed, gotten it, gotten his shield good, and gotten my hand axe. So I mean, I'm good with just doing whatever is required of that to get that done.
Okay.
What kind of checks would it take to avoid exhaustion? Like Constitution save or something like that?
Basically, yeah.
Is it like a high DC or?
Well, it goes up for the longer length of time you decide to go above the normal 8 hours. So you'd actually be making several checks that would get cumulatively harder as you went.
Let's say 2 hours. How many checks would I have to do?
I'd say go ahead and make 2 checks.
Would you want to do this, Taylor?
To what? Avoid? No, I'm just gonna do 8 hours. I'm not gonna take exhaustion.
Okay. I guess I'll just do the 8 then.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you're able to pretty much knock out the projects that you had, mostly done, or at least get them to the point that you wanted to get them to. All right. Jumping back to Bungdo. You said you wanted to go to the sketchier part of town, yeah?
Indeed.
Okay. What specifically are you looking for in the sketchier part of town?
Smugglers.
All right. Let's see. Let's have you go ahead and make first a wisdom check. Okay. And then based off of that and essentially knowing what to look for, go ahead and make an investigation check for your ability to then find what you're looking for. All right. So after wandering around the dwarven equivalent of the hood for a little bit, you don't find anyone who really fits the profile of a smuggler. I mean, you find a few.
That's fine. I don't actually need to find a smuggler, just like someone who deals with them.
Okay. But yeah, you find a couple, look to be kind of small-time black grass dealers just kind of standing out in the street. And
what is the equivalent of blackgrass, like the better equivalent?
What do you mean by the better equivalent?
Is there like a particular type of thing that has the same effects but not as or is Kenku like the
Well, blackgrass is so essentially blackgrass is a larger family of things. And there could be, say, different strains of blackgrass.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I guess the equivalent would be a better strain of blackgrass.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, it's for whatever reason you're just not really finding precisely what you're looking for in that sense.
I'm okay with going up to one of the blackgrass dealers.
Okay. So yeah, there's this this dwarf that's just kind of standing out in the street, not really doing a good job of being discreet or subtle in any sense of the word. Kind of got a trench coat deal going on. Like
How do you have a
serious
trench coat on a
after school special kind of thing going on here. Like, hey kids, want to buy some drugs? But yeah, so you approach this individual, and he just kind of like nonchalantly says, "Can I help you?"
Well, hello there, my friend. It seems quite obvious to me that you're a dealer of some magnitude. Who do you buy from? I'm looking to make a business proposition.
Why would I tell you who I buy from?
Well, I can either go to the cops and get you in trouble, or if you decide to try and stop me from doing that, I could kill you. So it would be better for us both and much easier if you could just tell me. And then perhaps a business proposition might benefit you.
Make an intimidation check.
I hope it rolls well. Oh,
Oh god.
You don't fuck with the gnome father.
All right. So, yeah, hearing this and kind of weighing his options, he seems to. There's certainly a pause there as he is kind of scrambling. Oh, okay, fine. Just don't tell the guards. You just want a name?
That would work. Perhaps where to find them. I'd like to go talk to them if that's possible. Or where I could find them at some point. Additionally, and I suppose just to help with trust, how much for a small vial of blackgrass?
He's like, how about 15 gold?
Can I do an insight to see if that's what he would normally ask?
Sure.
Well, I'll give him 15.
All right. And yeah, you get basically like a little test tube kind of deal of blackgrass. And yeah, it's blackgrass.
Now that you know the real, now that you know I'm the real deal, where might I find someone, and who am I looking to find?
All right, and he kind of like overly, almost to the point of like stage whispering. Just kind of like leans over and says, "His name is Odd Sparkle."
Sounds like a swell fellow. And where might I find him?
He hangs out at the inns and stuff. I mean, he just kind of makes the rounds.
Very well. I appreciate the information, young man. What might your name be? Could make a recommendation if this proposition goes well. Perhaps get yourself some status after all.
His name
Is Rumples Stiltskin.
he just says, "My name is Maldor, but don't mention it."
I'll simply call you M if I have to. But if you
Right.
ask not to be mentioned, very well. Now, just to be sure, you are not telling me this information. It is, you're not lying, right? And I give him the stink eyes and add, because you know what will happen if you do. So I'm giving it a chance to, you know.
Fess up if he's bullshitting.
Yeah.
hold.
All right. So yeah, he it's like, no, I'm telling the truth.
Well, I believe him.
All right.
I quickly go off to find this guy. Go to the nearest inn, if there's time.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check to find Odd Sparkle.
Wow, what is with these rolls?
Yeah, you don't really see anybody who looks like a sparkle.
Well, I go to the shadiest looking inn.
Okay.
I assume there's a bartender, correct?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else at the bar?
Yeah, I mean there's kind of a handful of mostly dwarves in various states of somewhere between buzzed to fucked up and almost fainted on the bar.
Is there a dark corner of the bar that's kind of out of sight?
I mean, the place is really dimly lit. It's all kind of a dark corner. It's kind of a dark corner of Thogladar, so to speak.
Perhaps somewhere where no one else is sitting?
Yeah, I'd say you could find a reasonably isolated place to sit.
I go up to the bartender and ask him if he could explain to me the marking on the table that I was sitting at. And I ask him to come look.
Okay,
It'll only take a second, if you don't mind.
all right. He kind of like looks around. You kind of gather that he knows something's up.
Well, I do it in a friendly manner, non-threatening.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he accompanies you back to the table.
So I sit down and I say, "It's right over there. If you don't mind taking a seat, I'll show you." And then I pull out a gold coin and hit it on the table, so it's just kind of like, and then I push it forward, with my finger still on it. "I'm looking for someone, and bartenders usually hear things that no one else hears. Quite the observers, I see. Would you be able to help me?
I might.
Do you know anyone by the name of Odd Sparkle?" Then I'm just kind of like pushing the coin in a circle, making a uneasing grating sound. Not like grating, but just like sliding on the table.
Yeah, just kind of scraping along the uneven surface of the wood. All right. Um, let's see if he's heard anything about Odd Sparkle. Yeah, I can't say I've heard of that one. Are you sure that's a person's name?
Well, he seems to be the blackgrass dealer around here. I was hoping to find him. Doing a little investigation, so you see. Mostly out of curiosity.
All right. He just seems kind of confused by this whole encounter. Um, he doesn't really know what to make of the name. Doesn't seem like he's really heard of him before. It's like, I mean, if I hear anything, like, Who are you?
Oh, that is not pertinent information, but I suppose I should make myself known. I am the Gnome Father.
Right.
And you are?
My name is Banmar.
Pleasure to meet you, Banmar. Tell me, do you usually have the shady sort in here? People that might be involved in such trades?
I mean, they're usually pretty cryptic about what they're doing, but it would
Indeed, the
seem
smart
so.
ones are. And how about yourself? What are your opinions on the trade?
Well, as long as the coin keeps flowing, I don't really care what kind of business meetings go on here.
Smart fellow, and I slide him the coin. Is anyone here now that happens to be involved that I could speak to? I'd be quite sublime about it. Sorry. Discreet, not sublime. Definitely not sublime.
All right, and he kind of looks around the bar, and let's see. You can see he's kind of like, almost tracing the entirety of the crowd of the bar with his eyes, trying to find somebody who might fit the bill. Okay, so eventually, his gaze kind of settles on actually a very strange looking figure that you're kind of surprised you hadn't noticed as you entered the bar before. So, leaned up against a kind of taller table, kind of like cocktail setup, and seemingly making conversation with, probably one of the more traditionally attractive dwarven females you've seen since making it to Thogladar, is a humanoid form, a bit bigger than the dwarves that make up most of the crowd here. Wearing kind of a hooded cloak with the hood down, and gesturing very with large, broad, grand gesture, seemingly trying to impress this fair lady. And what you can gather, seeing the hood down, is that this is a cat person?
Khajiit! You want to buy some skooma?
God damn it, Phil.
Well, I turn to the bartender, and I thank him for his time and say, I suppose you should probably be getting back to the bar now. I appreciate your time in the matter, and if things turn out well, I'll be sure to remember your assistance.
Right. Well, good luck.
And if they don't, I never met you. You were never here. You never had this conversation with me, and you'll never have any consequences. And I then get up and walk over to the two, and I walk up to the woman and said, Excuse me, miss, this fine fellow here actually saved my brother a few months ago, and I was hoping I could thank him for his bravery. Do you mind if I borrow him for a minute?
And she just kind of gestures towards you, like, oh, yeah, no problem. But, yeah, he kind of turns his gaze to you, and
I look more over to him so she can't see it, but then I wink at him with my right eye and said, do you mind sitting down for a minute to talk? I'd love to thank you very much for your fine, I don't know, fucking bravery.
Go ahead and, let's go ahead and call this a performance check.
It could
All right,
be
yeah,
worse.
that's about how it kind of sounded. Like, you just fumbled over your words at the end. Yeah, so kind of one eyebrow up. This cat person. Actually, while we're at it, go ahead and make either a nature or history check.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, no, this is
Dude,
fucking
look
weird.
at
There's
all
a
of
cat
those
person.
rolls.
There's a cat person in the bar, and like, you don't even know.
I don't even know, man.
Bungo's just so
taken.
taken aback by it. Alright, well, I say you have kind of an odd sparkle in your eye. Do you happen to know anything about blackgrass trade?
Pickup lines with Bungdo.
And then I put a gold coin on the table and I kind of spin it.
All right, well, just because we're going there. Yes, I do know a thing or two about the trade.
Oh my god.
What have you done, Phil?
Oh, I have opened up a can of worms. Alright. So, I just straight up ask if he is a large player in the trade or if he's small time, and if he could use assistance in shipping and delivery of goods to other cities, depending on how widespread his business is.
Okay. That's a lot of stuff. So essentially, what he says to you is he's pretty well connected. He mentions that he did actually pick up on that little reference you made in your introduction, and he is in fact connected with the one known as Odd Sparkle. Another means of distribution could always prove useful, and yeah, he just sort of asks, like, well, what could you provide that, isn't
Well-
already sort of within their network, so to speak?
I have a particularly high standing with many of the businesses. Well, I don't want to say businesses. I have high standing with a lot of people, as well as a fair standing or business proposition already underway with the Tuskwoods in Strassa, who he may know, if he has knowledge, as one of the, I think they're the merchants.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do control most of the trade in like
And
kind of
as-
general trading goods and stuff.
As
in
they
Strasbourg.
control trade, I could always use that as part of my. Have my connections here and in other cities, your connections, as part of a bargaining chip to perhaps set up a large network of business.
Okay. He certainly seems intrigued by the proposition.
I'm willing to start small.
Well, what did you have in mind?
What was that?
What did you have in mind?
I thought we could start small and perhaps go from there.
All right. He thinks for a moment. Says, "Where are you staying to?"
Do you know of hammer strikers?
God damn it! You're telling every fucking drug dealer where my parents live.
Sorry.
Jackass. Brown, remind me, we need to put a fucking leash on Bungdo. I will invent a child leash to put on Bungdo.
Okay.
I don't find out about the illegal activity.
So again, for the sake of brevity, let's say that you kind of explain the location of the Hammer Striker house, and the cat person in front of you, who introduces himself as Smooth as Silk, says that a small package will be delivered there, assuming you provide, well, a small deposit to cover expenses.
Bungdo raises his eye, but, he's looking for business. Well, I suppose I'll have to be trusting as the situation would demand. Can't really grow on no trust, can we? How much is the deposit?
He thinks for a moment and says, call it 300 gold.
And what am I to do with the package?
Next time you're in Strasbourg, you make a delivery. You go and pay a visit to someone known as Busy Bee. I trust you can find them, yes?
Well, I found you, so yes.
I am not hard to find.
Meh. Alright, so I do an obnoxious bow and then I walk out of the bar.
Okay. Alright. So, I know Phil has to go.
Indeed.
And I think Sadie has business to attend to. If the two of you have anything else you'd like to finish up, can we do that after a quick break?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Phil, have fun going out doing whatever you're doing.
Thank you. I shall.
And,
Halloween party. Alcohol, the usual.
Nice, nice. Okay. And I'll talk to you sometime soon.
All right. See you guys later.
That's it.
Yeah.